What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today we're going to talk a little bit about the offense kind of as a whole, right? Talking about everything. Haven't been able to get you guys content every day, so going to group a couple of these things together, right? And of course, we know that Ryan Kelly has been put on the IR, so it's going to mean it's Tanner Bortolini season. Now, next thing I'm going to say, completely speculative. Completely speculative. There's nothing concrete to this. This is completely speculation, but there's a lot of talk, a lot of people talking about, well, hey, now you have Ryan Kelly on the IR. It's the biggest obstacle to AR's success this season seems to be out of the way right now, right? Tanner Bortolini comes in for Ryan Kelly earlier in this season, plays very well. Ryan Kelly been dealing with calf injury and something else. I think there was something else earlier in the year, whatever it is. Been dealing with his own injuries. Maybe going on the IR is actually injury related, maybe, and I would assume it is. I don't know if Shane Steichen's the kind of guy that's just gonna go ahead and put Ryan Kelly on the IR just to get him out of the way. But nonetheless, Tanner Bortolini came in, played great earlier this season. It is Tanner Bortolini season. Okay, he's playing and starting at least the next 4 games. At least you would hope so, as long as he's able to stay healthy and stay on the field. We're going to have Tanner Bortolini, who's been really good. Dalton Tucker, another rookie, has been really good. Mackin Savez has had to play right tackle and left tackle, and he's done pretty good this year. So the rookies are doing good, and we should have Bernard Raymond back. So no Mackin Savez this week, but we will have Tanner Bortolini. And the reason I think that that's important is because it's going to help the offense, right? And hopefully it helps the offense, right? You look at the way the offensive line has performed over these last few weeks. I think it's just been very clear that the offensive line has taken a step back from where they were earlier in the season. And honestly, like Tanner Bortolini's been better than Ryan Kelly. The offensive line as a whole has been better with Tanner Bortolini, in my opinion. So I think that is this should help the offense. Now, we are coming off a game where the offense looked as bad as they've looked since 2022. Okay, that game against the Vikings was terrible. I don't want to watch that every Sunday. I just don't. So as much as I thought it was a good idea and the right decision to take AR off the field, you got to hold him accountable, right? And a lot of people, oh, well, you're going to hold this guy accountable or this guy or this guy. You hold the quarterback accountable because he's a quarterback. If you don't understand that, you're never going to understand that. I'm not going to continue to try to explain that. The quarterback is different. Doesn't really matter what you say. The quarterback is different. He's the guy. He's different. So, yeah, I think it was a good idea to hold him out, hold him accountable for both play on the field. And at the time, I didn't really think it was for play on the field. I thought it was all leadership related and trying to hold him accountable in that way. And AR's talked with the media and from sources in the building, everything seems like it's pointing in the right direction for AR. And that AR understands the situation, the conversation that he had with Ballard and Steichen, and them letting him know that they're just things that he needs to work on, both on the field and for himself and individually, and the things that he needs to work on, but also, to be a leader and to be somebody that once he, being off the field, right, being able to lead off the field and setting the example and all those sorts of things. And it seems like everything's moving in the right direction, right? From a source inside the building saying that, I can't remember the exact quote, but basically just saying like his attitude has shifted in a way where he's doing the right things. I think it was that he's preparing like a starter, and he's talked about, just trying to be a pro, just working more to be a pro. And again, he's only 22 years old. He turned 22 years old in May. Okay, so somebody is very young, somebody that I still expect to be the future of the franchise. And with the way the offense looked this past week, I just don't understand why we're going to keep rolling out with Flacco. And my comments at the beginning of this thing were, hey, we could have AR, you just sit him down for a game, kind of humble him a little bit, some accountability. And plus, we were going up against a really good defense. I thought Flacco would be better for us against the Vikings defense. I was wrong there. I'll hold that L. And honestly, Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard should hold this L also and go ahead and put Richardson back in. But we're not going to do that. We're going to be playing the Bills in Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, the offense looks the way it did and we're getting whooped at halftime, I don't see a way you don't put Anthony Richardson back in Lucas Oil Stadium, getting the boo birds going into halftime. If that's the case, Anthony Richardson is going to be the quarterback, right? And if he's not, right, you go through the entire game, and the offense is just terrible all day long. It's got to be AR after that, right? And one of the fears is the next thing, right? Like I talked about, it could be one game. Well, it could also be after the bye week, and we have a week 14 bye week, the latest bye week we could possibly get for like the fourth year in a row, and we could see AR come back and play, weeks 15 to 18, and I could see that being the case, right? But if Shane Steichen is talking about, wanting to win right now, giving us the best chance to win, if the offense looks the way it did in the first half next week, you got to assume he's going to switch it up. So that's where I'm at, right? Like, of course, I came out, talking about, the tapping yourself out, completely unacceptable, and it is. Quarterback just has to be held to a higher standard. And I talked about how I thought it was the right decision to hold him out. And I stand by that. I think he's coming out and talking about how he thinks he's so great passing the ball where he has clear deficiencies. He needed to be humbled. He needed to have that a little bit of accountability. He needed to know that you're not going to have the starting job just because we drafted you at 4. You're not going to just be handed anything here in the NFL. You got to work for it. And from the sounds of it, he's putting the work in. He kind of understands the situation right now. And so I think having that slap in the face, and taking a back seat for a minute, I think at the end of the day, going to be the best thing for him, which has been my take all along. This is going to be the best thing for him. That's why I thought it was the right decision. And I thought holding him out for the rest of the season might be the way to go. But right now, again, I'm holding the L in the fact that that's just not the case. As a Colts fan, what we saw Sunday, I don't want to watch anymore. We saw it for 17 weeks in 2022. I don't want to watch that brand of football anymore. So I would like Anthony Richardson to get back in the game. You have Tanner Bortolini. This is the center of the future. Go ahead, put Anthony Richardson, have these two grow together. And I think it's pretty clear. Jonathan Taylor, his numbers much better with Anthony Richardson. The running game is able to be more effective because of the threat of Anthony Richardson and how he holds people up. And I think Jonathan Taylor would benefit a lot. So it's a little give and take. I thought the receivers would be able to produce more as long as Joe Flacco was on the field. And, for most of the games this year, that was the case. But against the Vikings, that was not the case. A game where I really thought we were going to be able to take advantage of the situation and take advantage of having a veteran quarterback. Man, was I wrong, right? So going forward, just want to see changes. Again, that is what we saw, like what I watched Sunday. I don't want to do it again. We got flexed out of prime time because of it. I don't want to see that anymore. So here I am. And people are going to say, "Oh, look at the backtrack." And sure, yeah, you can say that. I just know I don't want to watch that anymore. Again, I'll hold that L. And going forward, we need Shane to be better for the offense. We need Anthony to come in. He's obviously better for the offense. He's better for Jonathan Taylor. And again, I think Anthony understands the situation. I think he understands the magnitude of his position and what it means to be an NFL quarterback. I think the things that you wanted AR to figure out through this whole situation sounds like he's figured out from sources in the building, from listening to him talk. He gets it. He gets it. And a lot of people gave heat to Pat McAfee and the boys for saying the same thing. And I'm going to echo that sentiment. Like he understands what it is. And that's really what you wanted to see, was for a young guy to come out and just to understand the situation instead of just right after the game and coming out and saying, yeah, I think I've, played well. I think I'm really good throwing the ball and really good here, really good there. Sounds like he understands there are things he needs to work on, and he's been working on it. As long as he's working on being a pro and preparing the right way and taking it more seriously and understanding that being a quarterback in the NFL is not easy and it's a volatile position. You could lose your job, boom, just like that, right? Baker Mayfield takes the Browns to the playoffs. Next thing you know, he's out of there. Now he's been in a couple different spots, and now he's leading the Bucs. And they have a lot of injuries. Probably not to the playoffs anymore, but that Bucs team a lot better because of Baker Mayfield. So it's possible, and we've seen it, right? You look at Sam Darnold, the quarterback we just saw, like plenty of examples in the league right now, guys that really just needed time from their teams and needed to build around their team, which is why we had the video about Chris Ballard a couple days ago. We're going to have a video about free agents and how many free agents we have. How should we build a team going into the next season, starting with the people that we have in the building right now. We're going to have a video about that either today or tomorrow, whatever the case is. Again, I'm putting in a lot of hours at my day job. I basically didn't work in October because of back-to-back hurricanes, messing a lot of things up. So now that I'm back at work, I am putting in a lot of hours right now, so going to continue to try to get as much content to you guys as possibly can, but at the moment, kind of have to take care of what I have to take care of, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you get notified when any of these videos do come out. And of course, I appreciate you taking time stopping by the channel. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.